You know you're in for a real treat when Sufjan Stevens is the first thing you hear when you boot up a game. The track Death with Dignity has become synonymous with my playthrough of Captain Spirit since it perfectly captures the setting and the themes of the game. Stevens wrote the song as a coping mechanism after hearing about the death of his estranged mother, and it helped give him a sense of closure. It explores themes of loss, grief and hope, which is difficult subject matter, especially in games, but the awesome adventures of Captain Spirit embraces the message of the song and all it encompasses. Captain Spirit isn't some macho man caped crusader. He's a young boy called Chris who lives in what feels like the middle of nowhere. You join him on a Saturday morning, playing with his toys as he dreams of being a superhero with incredible mind powers.
Yay!
The setup beautifully captures that childhood feeling of waking up on a weekend with no homework. The world is your oyster. Chris draws up a little checklist of all the awesome things he wants to do that day, and it's up to you in what order and how many of these superhero activities you do. But there's one thing you probably can't resist doing, and that's becoming Captain Spirit himself. Throughout the game you get to step into the world of Captain Spirit through Chris's vivid imagination. You'll do battle with evil snowmen, have a force battle with a shadowy void that lives in a dark cupboard, and even use the family car to drive to an alien homeworld. Just like Calvin from the Calvin and Hobbes comics, Chris uses his imagination to escape the normality of his life. While the world he's made in his head is a fantastical realm of escapism, you begin to understand why he created his alter ego once you get a better sense of his home life.
Chris! Breakfast!
When you first meet Chris's dad, his presence is immediately intimidating, and it gets even more uncomfortable when you notice several empty beer cans sitting by the sink.
Next time I tell you to come, don't ignore me.
But I...
Don't. This isn't a hotel, buddy. I get things to do.
Even the act of eating a family breakfast is tense. You choose your responses wisely because you feel he could fly off the handle at any moment. Once you begin to explore the house and spend a bit more time with him though, you discover that deep down he's still trying to be a good father. Occasionally he responds to Chris with genuine kindness, and he's even saved a bit of money to get Chris his dream Christmas present. He's a lost soul in a downward spiral, and witnessing his self-destruction from a child's perspective makes Chris's situation all the more heartbreaking. The added depth to the characters and story are only apparent if you really take the time to explore the household, and doing so is a continually rewarding process. The house is like a miniature sandbox, brimming with post-it notes, family photos and half-crumpled letters. Sometimes you'll even get the chance for Chris to use his superpowers when he interacts with certain objects. After all, who wants to clean the dishes when you can mega clean them?
Jesus, what was that? What the hell are you doing in there?
Okay, sometimes your powers don't help too much, but they do colour how Chris sees the world. Everything you see or read around the house allows you to glean more about the family. In particular, you'll get glimpses into the kind of woman Chris's mother was, and you'll get a true sense of the void her absence has left in the family. By experiencing Chris's life firsthand, we begin to understand and empathise with Chris's decision to occasionally live inside his head and indulge in escapist fantasies. His reality is surrounded by symbols of loss and mourning, but just like Sufjan Stevens, Chris has discovered a creative outlet to help him come to terms with the death of his mother in the form of Captain Spirit. His alter ego gives him a new identity, one with the courage to deal with his father's alcoholism and his broken home life. We all yearn to be someone better than ourselves, and one of the powers of books, films, and especially video games are their ability to take us away from reality. So many games pride themselves on offering a means of escapism and letting us roleplay as someone more compelling than ourselves. They let us become the intrepid explorer Nathan Drake, or they let us save the princess in The Legend of Zelda. Captain Spirit, on the other hand, is set in the kind of world that many of us want to get away from, domestic and full of unpleasantries. Just to highlight the normality of Chris's life, at one point you can even microwave leftovers in real time. I don't know about you, but this isn't the most exciting thing I've ever done in a game. But seemingly mundane moments like this contrast beautifully with Captain Spirit's fantastical adventures, and it makes the game all the more remarkable. It was humbling to play as a character who wasn't a hunky dreamboat with an itchy trigger finger, but rather somebody who dreams of being somebody else. The awesome adventures of Captain Spirit not only offers a profoundly honest look into the family blindsided with grief, but it also depicts exactly why some people turn to escapism to deal with a personal crisis. For the father, it's drinking, and for Chris, it's Captain Spirit. Chris's story is beautifully human, and I think most gamers will see a little bit of themselves in Chris, because we all dream of being someone who's better than ourselves. For many gamers, that fantastical thrill of role-playing as someone with the courage, inner strength, and the drive to best any obstacle is exactly why we play video games.
Captain Spirit is here!